Hi, and welcome to today's edition of That's Right, I Said It. Today is Thursday, September 23rd, and I'm going to talk about something that, if you listen to the news, it's affecting us all. And that is the kind of the little story about Chicken Little, from my opinion. The sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. You know, hey, the economy, yes, it's bad. Compared to perfect. If you listen to the news and what they say, you know, some people think it's politically driven, but they say the economy is bad. Yes, it's worse than it normally is, but I don't know if it's as bad as they make it out to be. When you think about how bad the news and the press hits it every day, it leads you to believe or to feel that the state of the economy is affecting all of us, or at least 50% of us. If you didn't know any better, you would think half the people in the country are suffering financially because of the economy. I think I have more room to talk than most. I'm in the real estate industry, and our country, you know, built on the American dream. The real estate industry is the kind of the heartbeat of the economy, as most financial people see it. Of course, we have economic spending and people buying new cars and retail goods items, and all that's important things, because, hey, you know, if I invent a toaster, I want people buying that toaster. And I don't really care if it's kind of a crappy toaster, as long as they buy it and I'm able to make a living because I made it. Of course, some people are affected by the economy because the product or items they sell are no longer useful to our society. A kind of an example of that would be, if you're a guy, you know, back in I would imagine in the 20s and 30s, this might have been a big business before they had the invention of the modern day refrigerator freezer. If you were a guy that sold those blocks of ice and you drove those big moving vans around that was insulated, and you open up the back, grab a big chunk of ice out and drop it on somebody's step, and they would use that ice to keep their items cold, meat or milk or whatever, hey, that was a good business back then. In today's economy and society, where everybody has a refrigerator, maybe a deep freezer, that's not a good product to sell. You know, so hey, instead of trying to sell blocks of ice, sell soccer balls. Man, if you would check the economy on how many soccer balls are sold, with all of these soccer moms and everybody's kids playing soccer, man, I wish I would have invented a nice soccer ball 5 or 10 years ago. I probably wouldn't be working every day. But when I think about the economy and how it's pressed, you know, I just don't think it's as bad as they put it out to be. It's bad. I'm not trying to make it light of anybody being out of work or you know, different economic factors, but, you know, hey, they had a thing on the news a couple days ago that said, hey, our economy started turning around a little bit over a year ago. I made a chart here that has something to do with the current unemployment rate. Over on this side is the 2000 unemployment rate. Over on this side is the 2010 unemployment rate. Now, on the 2000 unemployment rate, it was right around 4%. This year's unemployment rate currently is 9.6%. So when you look at that chart, man, you know, yes, today it's a lot worse than it was 10 years ago. And the fact of the matter is, the average unemployment rate, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to be too far off, 1% maybe. The average unemployment rate over the years, 50, 60, 70 years, is about 5.5%. What that means to me is, if you set 100 adults in a row, and they all want jobs, and they all normally work, 5 of those 100 people will be out of work. out of 100 people. You know, man, you know, anybody being out of work is bad, but 5 out of 100, you know, it's not that bad. You know, today, it's 9.5 out of 100 is out of work. You know, so it has doubled. So from my frame of mind, it's affecting about, or not quite, but almost twice as much as normal. But in the big scheme of things, when I look at the chart, it looks high because my chart only goes up to 10%. Now, if I took this and looked at our country as a whole, or the workforce as a whole, and I hold up this chart, over here is everybody. This is 100% of everybody. Down here is how many are unemployed. Ouch, 9.5% unemployed versus 100% unemployed. And it's normally down around 5.5%, you know, somewhere in there. So don't get me wrong, it's bad. But when you listen to the news every day, and the Chicken Little screaming, the sky's falling, and people are saying, man, I better cut back on my workforce because one day this might affect me. Or I better quit buying a new car and keep my old one. You know, I would have given my nephew in college my old car, but I'm going to keep it now since, you know, hey, the economy's bad. Hey, let me tell you something. If you're looking to buy a new car, today is the best day to buy a new car. The interest rates are almost zero, if not zero. And the cars are, most of them are better built than they ever have been. They're getting better gas mileage. They have better safety ratings. Hey, it's a great time to buy a new car, or most luxury items in that matter. But, you know, when you listen to the news, you would think that half of us are affected by the economy, when in reality, probably 20% or less of us are. How many of you out there have been affected by the economy? How many of you are unemployed versus a year or two ago or 4 years ago? You know, the numbers say less than 1 out of 10 are affected. So why are we acting like 50, 60, 70% of us are affected? You know, hey, I think that putting fear into people, making them think that 50% of us are affected or all of us are affected by the state of the economy, that fear drives panic and more problems for our economy. Hey, let's all look at this in, I think, a more reality sense. Let's say, hey, not as many of us are affected by unemployment as the news and the media acts. So let's quit throwing the panic flag up. Do things responsibly like we should financially. And hey, if you need a new car, go buy one. This is a great time. And take your old car, give it to someone that's in need. You know, sell it to them for $50, $500, I don't know. But hey, let's not blow this unemployment thing out of proportion in the state of our economy. It's not as bad as the news prints. You know, I like I said, I'm not making light of anybody having employment problems or money problems. When the unemployment was 5% or 4%, there was still a large majority of us with money problems because we just simply didn't manage our money right. You know, I'm guilty. I didn't always have a lot of money in the bank where I can help others in need. You know, I'm thrilled that the guy that's over Facebook has decided to give $100 million into North's school system. That's great, you know. And I just encourage you guys to not let this fear of unemployment drive us into a worse state. You know, if there's a dog loose and this dog can get to 5 people, and 5,000 people run, somebody's going to get trampled. You know, so let's kind of put a hush to that panic and do things sensibly, responsibly. If we can hire someone and pay them a decent salary so that they can work. And I hope you all kind of see the levelness of this. And if you want more information on unemployment statistics, you can go to Google or Yahoo, whatever search engine you use, and Google unemployment numbers. You can even get a nice little map like this. It shows which states have higher unemployment than others. The lighter the state, the less unemployment. On this map in particular, it even has a nice bar graph along the bottom that shows it. You know, be leery of bar graphs that peak out at the worst place. It makes it look real high. A white part in the country is 1 to 4% unemployment. Pink is 4 to 7% unemployment. Mauve is 7 to 10% unemployment. The real dark areas, you know, the dark maroon is 13%. Man, we have a couple of states that are climbing over 13% unemployment. Nevada being one. I guess this may be Michigan being one. Hey, you know, there's a couple places where people are worse off than you are. But, you know, all in all, let's try to keep our head on this, a level mind, and not panic. And that's all I have for now. Tomorrow I'll touch bases on a few lighter notes. Have a great day.